Hi, good day, John. Great to see you again.
And good to see you again, Jenny, all the way across the Atlantic Ocean or the Indian Ocean, one of them. You're on the other side of the world, aren't you? It's amazing.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And it's been quite some months since we've done one of our little connection talks, isn't it? I think it's about
Yeah.
6 because we've both been really busy with what we've been up to. So, but first of all, I must say, um, to all the listeners, lovely listeners, it's John's birthday today, so I'd like to wish him a happy birthday. It's actually all coming to the end of his day, actually, the beginning of mine and coming to the end of his. So you had a great birthday, John.
I've had a great birthday. Started 4:30 a.m. this morning, and we've done markets today. We call them markets here in Australia. It's like a fair, and we sell singing bowls for meditation and always spreading cheer and a spiritual message here and there. We love it. Yeah.
That's brilliant, brilliant. Love that, John. Beautiful to be out there as well in the outdoors, out there in nature. You'd be fully grounded out there, won't you?
Well, we've got ocean views from our market stall, so it's a good spot.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Well, this month, the month of May, is Mental Health Awareness Month, and this particular week is Mental Health Awareness Week. So it was really important that we tried to get together today, wasn't it? After everything that's been going on. So perhaps you'd like to say a little bit about what you've been up to in the last 6 months.
Well, we've moved here in Australia. We moved further north to get some finer weather and a bit better weather for my wife's health, Maureen, and that's worked out brilliantly. It's because we've never lived near the ocean before. And I think it's the sea breezes and salt air, and it's really had a positive impact on our health. So we've been busy with that, moving, unpacking. It's a big job, but we're all settled in now and very happy. Yeah,
That's brilliant, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I love it that you're by the sea.
yeah, we
So,
came here on our honeymoon many moons ago, back in
oh,
1999. So we're still pinching ourselves that we actually live here now because we fell in love with this place then. So yeah, we're very happy.
yeah, I'll bet you fell in love with it. It looks absolutely beautiful. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. Would you like to tell the listeners a little bit about the sound healing?
Yeah, we've set up a sound therapy room and we do sound healing sessions for people. And it's amazing. We do 45 minutes of gonging and crystal and brass singing bowls, and we've got a crystal harp and koshi chimes from Japan and crystal pyramids. And we do 45 minutes of sound, which takes people to a very deep meditative state. And it's a real spiritual experience always. And then after we have a cuppa and a debrief, and everybody shares their experience. And it's different for everybody. And the feedback we get is quite amazing and very varied as well. So then we talk about mindfulness. Usually I bring that up or whatever comes up. And it's quite amazing. I think in the debrief, one of my favourite comments from a lady that came from Maryborough, which is a nearby town, a group of ladies came actually, and a comment she made was a couple of dark things showed up, but they were dealt with, she said. I love that comment. We didn't ask her to tell us more about it, but that was enough. A couple of dark things showed up and they were dealt with. So that's awesome. Yeah. I
That's
love
a
comments. Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing, John. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You're doing
And
brilliant work over there. And
and
everything
because
that you do is for our mental health, isn't it?
absolutely. And I get my passion, as you know, from my own journey. And after being stuck in the mental health system for 15 years and being told that I couldn't be cured and that I'd have to take medications for the rest of my life and that I'd never work again, I was actually pensioned off by 1997. That's 26 years ago now. But I believed them, and that's what kept me stuck, because they're university-trained professionals. What would I know? And I believed what they were telling me. And do you know people are still being told the same thing today? And that's why I take great delight in helping people find their true selves, their spiritual selves, and getting their life back, just like I did. And that can happen for anyone, no matter what sort of diagnosis or what sort of spiritual emergencies they're going through. And that's a fairly new term these days. You can Google it if you like. Spiritual emergency. It sort of puts a different perspective on what people are experiencing, especially people who are diagnosed with schizophrenia or bipolar, hearing voices or psychosis, things like that. And they are. And once they get proper perspective on their experience and start connecting with their true spiritual selves, they do get their lives back, just like I did. And, being told you can't be cured and you have to stay on medications, it's just ridiculous. And I'm sure it's happening all around the world still. But the world is waking up. I firmly believe that, just from the amount of people that we meet at our markets, because a lot of people come through there, and I'm meeting people all the time and talking, and you kind of know when you're meeting someone who has awakened. There's a kind of spiritual vibe there. You sort of sense it. It's amazing how we do that, and proves to me that we're all connected. We're all one, and I'm a big fan of oneness. There's a bit of a world movement on oneness. People are waking up to all sorts of things, whether it's religions or government or the system. And it doesn't matter what part of the system, it's the same in every country. Whether it's in education or health, nursing, the forces, police force, it doesn't matter what part of the system it is, justice and mental health, of course. Yep. They're kind of stuck. They're not keeping pace with us, the people. People are awakening, but the system is not changing, or it's just way too slow to change. And what they lack is spirituality and culture. It's just not there. And that's what's lacking, and that's what's failing people. And so we can make a difference there, Jenny, can't we? And we do.
Yeah, we do our best, don't we, to do that? Because we're spiritual coaches, and what we do is we guide, don't we? We guide people to find their own self, to find their truth. And like you say, with so many people waking up at the moment to all sorts of things, we're here now to help guide them through that. It's hard to describe sometimes how you would do this, with how you would work with somebody in this way, isn't it? But we have all sorts of different tools that we use. You've used your sound healing you've spoken about there. I also do sound healing. I'd love that I could do the type that you do. But I also do the sound healing and the light language. And I had an experience only last week with the light language where somebody was absolutely blown away with it. Absolutely blown away. And yet, although my sessions are only quite short, the light language and the sound healing, they're usually around 10 to 15 minutes. The person gets what they need in that moment in time. And you're quite right about the energies that are out there. People are gravitating towards people now. I'm going to be doing a fair tomorrow as well. We call them fairs over here, yeah, and not in the beautiful outdoors. It's going to be indoors, but it's in a beautiful place called North Allerton in North Yorkshire. And it's absolutely beautiful, and it's got a free entry, and there's going to be all sorts of different stalls and different people there. So that's going to be beautiful. And people are welcome to come along and talk like they do with yourself at your markets. just chat, and it's amazing how the conversations just suddenly go deep. And I love that. I love that, because that's where my passion is, helping somebody to really, really feel from the heart center their own truth. So, and it's so good for the mental health, because you can't miss spirituality out when you're looking at healing. That's the core aspect. You're missing out the core aspect of who you are. So yeah, brilliant, the work that goes on.
Yeah, we're called healers, and sometimes people question that, but it's not because we heal people, but we give them the tools so they can heal themselves, or they receive the tools in a meditation. There's all sorts of different ways. And one of my main tools, of course, is teaching people mindfulness. I consider myself a mindfulness master and have done for many, many years now, simply because I've mastered mindfulness. So anybody can be a mindfulness master. I don't think you need any university papers for that to happen. But yeah, and the way I teach it, and I'll just give a little rundown. I always love to do this, is be mindful, pause, connect. And that's how I've simplified 10,000 hours of study into mindfulness in all cultures, and from a spiritual aspect as well. And I found it in all cultures as well as I was researching. Sometimes it's not called mindfulness, but it's there. And it's a very ancient practice, very simple practice. Be mindful, pause, connect. So be mindful is the heart instruction I teach people to use. The instruction from our heart, which is a more powerful, and science has proven it, more powerful organ than the brain. So we put the heart in charge. So we give the instruction, be mindful. Anytime we notice our mind being unhelpful or negative, or in the past, which can make us depressed, or in the future, which can make us anxious, when we notice that, and that's what mindful practice is all about, is noticing, observing our thoughts and responding. Be mindful, we tell ourselves, and we allow that to trigger a pause. It only takes a few seconds. We pause, and we do this any time of day and throughout our day as well. It's not like meditation, which is something we make time to do. Mindfulness becomes our life, and we practice throughout the day. We connect, and that's the last part of it. Be mindful, pause, just a few seconds, and connect. We pause our thoughts, and we connect in three different ways. We connect with where we are, using our five senses, especially sight, hearing, but also smell, taste, and touch if we're with a partner. Very important. And we connect with full presence with who we're with. That's not thinking about what to say next or having any agenda. We just become present. It's the greatest gift we can give our loved ones and everyone in our circles. And the most important aspect, of course, is connecting with our source. Whatever you believe that to be, whatever your source is, connect with it. And when we start creating a little silence throughout our day, just little bits, then it opens our mind. We become more creative, we become more intuitive, and we get our lives back just from a simple practice. So, that's it in a nutshell. Be mindful, pause, connect.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Over the years, I've realized that I do that more and more. And I sort of do it by taking a big, deep breath. That's my pause, to take a big, deep breath before I respond, so that I don't react. And it does become, because it's a part of who we are anyway, it does come back to us. It's like it's a remembrance, isn't it? It's a remembrance of who we are. And just by taking that pause, that breath, you just come into this space of It's not nothingness, because it's pure love, isn't it? Because where we are and who we are and what we are is just an energy ball of pure unconditional love. So it's so lovely to just sit and pause and breathe.
And the reward for our practice, of course, is peace of mind and clarity of mind. Things that I never had in all my years of mental health struggles. I had a mind that was like a drunken monkey all over the place and very busy. And of course, because I was stressed out, I was, whatever it was on my mind at the time, which was mostly past trauma. And it affects so many people. We've all had trauma in some degree, that's for sure. It's amazing what effect that does have on us. But once we start connecting with our true, authentic selves, which is love, no question, because, quite simply, there's fear and there's love. And we have a choice what to act out of, fear or love, or dark and light, if you like, because I call those 15 years my dark years now, years that I'm thankful for now, and because it helped shape who I am today. It's quite amazing. Without those dark years, I wouldn't be who I am. As simple as that. And when I finally did step into the light and started walking in the light, walking in partnership with spirit, it's amazing. Every morning now for 26 years without fail. First thing in the morning is practicing mindfulness, just connecting. And I say, what are we doing today, soul? SOL, it's an ancient Roman word for the sun. That's just me. I see the sun as my source, but I connect every day and I say, what are we doing today, soul? Because honestly, we can't do life on our own. It's too much of a struggle. But once we form a relationship with spirit, then it becomes a partnership, a very strong one. And it's almost like I get daily instruction because I pause my mind. I ask the question, what are we doing today, soul? And then I pause my mind, and I might have 500 things to do, but the highest priority thing will drop in, and our lives become more prioritized, more orderly. And honestly, we can only do one thing at a time anyhow. A lot of people try and multitask, but that just brings on stress. Yeah, one thing at a time is enough. Yeah. So get our daily morning instruction, if you like. What are we doing today? Pause your mind and see what drops in. Try it. Don't take my word for it. It's amazing. And when you get prompted, just like my old friend who knocked on my door one day and followed his spiritual prompt, and that's why I always follow mine. And I encourage everybody to follow your spiritual prompts. We get prompts, and we should act on them as well. Yeah, if you get prompted to go down to the local supermarket or whatever, just go, because you often you don't know the reason, but it could be someone else's reason, Someone might be needing to connect with us, or there might be someone we need to bump into, because they're not coincidences. Things happen. No. When we set our intention, as long as it's on others, love, and making a difference in the world, set our intention. It's almost like the universe starts moving the furniture for us, and things happen. We meet the right people, and it's just amazing. And before you know it, you're living a life of synchronicity, and it's an amazing life. It really is.
Yeah, absolutely. Synchronicity. I love synchronicity. I get to so much that, like you say, the more you're just in the present moment, that happens. Like you say, you get an inkling to go to the shops or whatever. If you go out, I'll often find myself going out on a day where I'm just going out and I'm just going out and that's it. And I'll bump into so many different people and different things, even if it's just a smiley hello to somebody. or receiving one back or whatever. It's really, really good, isn't it? And the thing about being grateful in the morning as well, I do that. And I especially love my sea dip mornings 3 or 4 times a week, because I can then just open my arms wide and it's like, good morning, universe. And if the sun's out and glistening on the sea, that's even better, because it's just so magical. You're just in this awesome place. It's really, really lovely. So by just pausing and taking that breath, you can actually, it changes things. It puts you in the right place at the right time, and it can change your perception on life, change your perception on your thoughts, on your beliefs, if you'll just stop and listen to your inner voice. Just stop and listen, feel from your heart. It's so beautiful, isn't it, John? It really is such a beautiful practice, and it's just so natural and normal. And like you, I've come from dark nights of the soul, which we know are not just a night. They are like weeks, months, years. Mine was like 13 years, and then I've had a few since. So, and they're there for us to learn and to grow and to evolve, so that we'll just become more loving, more light, more happy, more free, more joyous, like all the things on the wall at the back there as well, that you have behind you. Yeah. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it was when I think back to the days when I was depressed and suicidal, because I sure was, and I couldn't even see a reason to get out of bed. I couldn't force myself to, let alone go anywhere. I just wouldn't, because I was in that really dark place, and a lot of people are. And honestly, the worst thing we can do is that, and it's often the first symptom of depression, is isolating ourselves. We don't feel like going anywhere. We don't feel like connecting with people. We just want to shut ourselves off in the dark and, wallow in it kind of thing. But honestly, when I started actually forcing myself to go out and start making contact again, because while ever we isolate ourselves and shut ourselves in bedrooms and whatever else, then the universe can't reach us. But when we get out there in the world, then, and like I said before, the universe can start moving the furniture for us. We can start meeting the right people, or the phone will ring, or something will happen. And before you know it, you're back in the workforce, you've tapped into your entrepreneurial sort of capabilities, and we all have them.
Absolutely.
And the way to hone those skills is simply by pausing and connecting and accessing that divine wisdom and intelligence that's available. Because, the simple act of, as you say, taking a breath and pausing your mind and connecting. And then when you pause your mind, it gives an opportunity for things to drop in. And that's the way to hone our creativity, to give our intuition a boost. And it's amazing, the results from that. Yeah. So I encourage everybody to start practicing mindfulness and practice connecting with ourselves, connecting with spirit, connecting with others. And,
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, John. Yeah, thank you. Now, because this is Mental Health Awareness Week, we've had a lovely discussion there. I think perhaps we can finish by just sort of saying that if you're feeling stuck, you can find John and you can find myself. I put the links below for you to find us. We both are more than happy to have a little chat with you first and see where you're at and what you're doing, aren't we, John? And just see if we can help guide you in any way. If you're feeling stuck, please don't feel like you need to be out on your own, because you don't. You really, really don't. So thank you. And I'm going to let John sign us off because he does it so beautifully. Thank you.
Yeah, well, we're professional mentors, and professional mentors know how to listen. And we listen mindfully, with connection, with full presence. And it really is such an important skill. Listen, because I know there's so many people, and I was one of them, who go to psychiatrists, and I know they can only do 10-minute appointments, and there's no opportunity to listen. And they're there to judge you, really, and it's not what it's about. And I really believe the future of mental health service lies with people with lived experience like us, because we've been through it, we've come through it, we've recovered, and we can always happy to share just how we do that. And we never give advice either, and we listen. And then if we're prompted to give a perspective or share what worked for us, and then, quite often telling our stories inspires people, just like I was inspired. And that's it. So we're here to listen. So feel welcome to contact us. And in the meantime, get started on your practice. Be mindful, pause, connect, and keep doing it until it becomes a new habit. And then you won't even need the instruction, be mindful, from your heart, because it becomes automatic. We just pause and connect, just like breathing. Thanks, Jenny.
Oh, thank you.